Sushmita Sengupta. She's a senior program manager with CSE's Rural Water and Waste Management team. She is here to talk with us about our recent report, Big Change is Possible. Thank you so much for joining us, Sushmita.
You're welcome.
So this World Water Day 2023 the main discussion or the main theme is about accelerating change to solve the water and sanitation crisis. Sushmita, why don't you tell us a little bit about this compendium of 64 groundbreaking success stories from across India?
So Kanya, this compendium is actually all about celebrating source sustainability.
Okay.
We all know that clean water is very important for a healthy life. So if you want to have clean water, you should have not only a source that is like potable, but also you should have a continuous sustainable source also. So here we are talking about case studies where villages have worked together, the communities have come together and worked on making the source sustainable under different government programs.
Right. Okay.
So our colleagues have actually traveled to different parts of India, different geographic region, and they have collected these case studies. Okay. So another part of source sustainability, since I'm telling you that we are celebrating source sustainability, another part of the story is grey water.
Okay.
Why grey water is important? Because when under Jal Jeevan Mission, all the households will be getting water. Now, when you get water, 70% of it is converted into grey water and will be coming out from the kitchen, from the bathroom and the washing areas. So this compendium is also focusing on grey water management. You have villages which were struggling with overflow of grey water, mosquito breeding, unhealthy conditions, and they have actually treated the groundwater, treated the grey water and recharged their groundwater in some cases and got a rise in groundwater. The third part of a compendium, which is also talking about safe water, is the management of fecal sludge. Okay. The villages are actually managing their fecal sludge through some specific toilets, or they are actually taking the sludge to some treatment plants and getting it treated. So it's all about safe water, how to keep our sources safe, clean for a healthy life.
Okay. So we have been hearing about drying up of the springs in India's northeast. So this report, Big Change is Possible, has an interesting case study of spring water rejuvenation in both southern and western districts of Sikkim. Can you tell us why this particular case study is so interesting?
See, this case study is northeast from the hilly regions of Himalayas. It's like fascinating world, right there. And these people are depending on spring water for all their needs. So there were 100+ springs actually, which got dried up. Okay. So as a result, the main work of women in these villages, in all our villages in rural India, especially, you will find that the burden of this is felt by the women. Okay. The women actually had to walk miles, uphill in this difficult terrain and carry water back to their homes. Okay. Not only women, girl child also. So this children also, they miss their schools, and the women complained about their back pains. Now, this is a story which talks about how under a government program, all these springs got rejuvenated. And they actually made some water harvesting structures, which was staggered contour trenches, and they got a good flow from the springs. So
I think Pradeep is sharing an image with us.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about this image?
This is a picture of staggered contour trenches, as I was talking. So, 0.5 square kilometer, every 0.5 square kilometer had 3,500 such structures. And, they got rejuvenated. The water actually percolated through these trenches and got the spring rejuvenated, because the source of the springs is again rainwater. So they were catching the rain and making it percolate into the ground so that it can feed the springs. Okay. So this is how all those 100+ springs got rejuvenated.
Okay. So the next question that we have is about, so CSE has always been an advocate about ponds. I mean, how to revive ponds to recharge the groundwater. Why is that so important?
See, recharging pond will help you in actually, these are like big, I should say, a big recharging areas.
Right.
So you can effectively recharge your groundwater.
So are you also saying like we are going back to communities, I mean,
Managing the
communities
structures.
managing ones, okay.
So here in, as we talk, there is a case study from Dharwar,
Right.
from Karnataka, which is a hard rock region,
Okay.
and there is to be ponds. Traditionally, ponds used to be there,
Right.
which communities used to manage. Then they forgot about the ponds. It got encroached. The catchment areas got disturbed, and so people actually, since they forgot these big recharge structures, they thought that they will extract water from the ground.
Okay.
And bore wells and tube wells, they started coming up in the
Right.
regions, but they were also declining because people were actually getting water from the ground, like without any check and for different purposes. So then, under government program itself, they actually, government helped them to understand the importance of these traditional structures.
Okay.
The communities came together under different government programs. They started rejuvenating the ponds, and the best part of it, it recharged the groundwater. And the wells which were dug near these ponds, actually you could see the water to the brim of these wells.
Okay, that's quite interesting.
Yes.
Okay, the last and final point. So coming to that itself, the Jal Jeevan Mission and Swachh Bharat Mission are now being seen as the next generation reforms, right? Instituted for the water and sanitation. And that brings us to the next question, that we have always had talks about toilet building programs across India, and it is seen as incomplete unless the wastewater is treated. So what happens when the grey water is not treated?
If grey water is not treated and it actually percolates into the ground, then in rural India, what exactly you will find that people are actually using the bathrooms also for different dumping of their child feces. So some amount of pathogens may enter along with your bathroom water that is coming out of your bathroom or washing areas. And some because you are using soap and all sorts of for laundry uses, some amount of soap water may also get percolated, and some organic waste also from the kitchen may get into the soil and affect your groundwater.
So this particular book, Big Change is Possible, has an interesting case study from Telangana, Mariapuram, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Yeah. So how have they recharged groundwater?
Yeah, that's very interesting. Actually, Mariapuram, they were suffering from waterlogging, especially during the heavy showers. They have actually 1,000 plus millimeter of rainfall, and during heavy showers, what used to happen? There used to be waterlogging in the streets. The storm waters were choked due to solid waste dumping, and there was overflow everywhere of grey water. And water was coming from their kitchen, from their washing areas. And as a result, what happened is like this waterlogging caused mosquito breeding and unhealthy conditions. Right. People were spending more on health. Now, what happened? They actually found a solution through making simple soak pits. Soak pits at household level. Also, they were tackling the grey water from their community places. And they use the government fund, the very popular, the Narega fund, for actually making those community. So
this is how it will.
This is one of the community soak pits, tackling the community area, and they have recharged their groundwater. Right. So there is a graph which can show you that from between 2019 to 2021, there was more than a meter of rise in groundwater. So you can see this graph. So in these three clusters, you will see how there was rise. These are the piezometer reading, which are like a monitoring station, you can say in simple words, where the groundwater is rising at each of these areas. You will see that if you see the pre-monsoon, if you see the post-monsoon, you will see that there is a rise in groundwater, which is very nice. You are connecting that, as I told you, in the water scarce world, you cannot actually waste water. So grey water, you reuse, you treat, and you reuse. That's a perfect way of actually managing the grey water.
Okay. Just to conclude, do you have any last comments about what we can do, or as for the accelerating the change?
Of course, like CAC has always been advocating on decentralized systems for managing water and wastewater. Actually, if you are actually going out of rural areas and talking about cities also, you will see that many areas of a city, say Delhi also, many places are not sewered actually. So if you are actually supplementing with the centralized system, a decentralized system also for the cities, and of course rural areas, decentralized systems work best. So we actually, so small is not only beautiful but efficient at times, actually, and so that we can reduce the burden on the women of rural India. Girl child, they can go to school, and we talk about healthy conditions.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Sushmita. Thank you for watching. We'll be back soon with another live chat. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.